What's up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, back with my NXT Takeover XXX, aka 30 preview and predictions. Tomorrow night we have our next NXT pay-per-view. Also, we have AEW Dynamite, and then the following day we have SummerSlam. We also have the introduction of the Thunderdome now at the Amway Center with Raw and SmackDown. Obviously, NXT will not be participating in that. I don't know why they wouldn't use that. I guess they want to still have that kind of smaller venue feel. I do think if it goes off very well, they'll move it to the Thunderdome eventually, at least for the takeovers, if not anything else. What I'm going to do here is go over my preview and predictions of the 5 matches that there are. I'm going to be using the confidence points scale that other people like to use. Real quick rundown of what confidence points are. There are 5 matches, so therefore you assign each match the numbers 1 through 5, 5 being the most confident, 1 being the least confident. If your outcome that you predict happens, you get the points then. So if I predict the 5-point match and get it correct, I get 5 points. And at the end, you add them all up. And then you have your score. I do something a little different where I give both my shoot and my kayfabe predictions to explain what those are. Shoot is what I actually think is going to happen based on the storylines, based on just my own knowledge of wrestling in general. Kayfabe is what I want to happen, because sometimes obviously what you want isn't what you know is going to happen. So I kind of go by those, but obviously the shoot is where the points actually count. So pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in reverse order of what I typed because I don't know why. So the first one was first and foremost, a couple of things. So most of these matches were actually set up over the last couple of weeks as opposed to kind of long-standing feuds going on. That's obviously something with NXT I'm a little disappointed in, because one of the things that they were always really good at is long-term story booking with Triple H. I don't know if this is more of the idea of what happened when they went to network television. I don't know if this is trying to get pop ratings, so they're trying to just figure out the best thing for it. I'm not sure, but a lot of these didn't have a lot of time to stew the same way that some of the other feuds have done in the past. But some of them are pretty good, so I'm expecting NXT Takeover to deliver just as they always do. You kind of have to say NXT 30, especially when you're doing your search engine optimization, all things like that. There is no Cruiserweight title match. I thought if any of them would have been, there would have been one of those, but there isn't. So anyway, a match that was literally made, so we have a triple threat number 1 contender for the tag team title that is held by Imperium. If I didn't tell you, you might not have even remembered. We get Legado del Fantasma of Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango versus Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan. This was literally made on the Go Home show, so there really wasn't anything. Imperium, I wrote here, kind of lackluster tag team reign, but the entire division, which used to be a strength, is now obviously a weakness. Not as bad as SmackDown, which literally has like 2 tag teams, but it's been pretty bad. So LDF and Breezango are in a current feud at the moment. So I feel like that's going to kind of color the way I'm thinking about it. So they're in a feud right now, currently. Oh, there she is. Little guest appearance. Also, Breezango had a title shot a few weeks ago. They lost. LDF are heels, so against Imperium that would be a little weird. Heel versus heel, they tend to kind of go away from that. But also, the NXT gave Burch and Lorcan, kind of this vignette when they were at the pub, kind of talking about themselves getting themselves over, getting themselves back into prominence in the tag team division, and then they never really paid it off because there was like a number 1 contenders match which they lost. I think that was the one that Breezango won. So it's like, since then, obviously Burch and Lorcan have both had kind of singles feuds. Burch with not really a feud with Karrion Kross just getting destroyed, and then Lorcan did have that kind of brief 2-match feud with Timothy Thatcher, which obviously now I'm assuming is going to be to Finn. So I feel like it's going to allow Burch and Lorcan to kind of since both those feuds are kind of over. What are you doing? Sit down or leave. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want. You run this house. So anyway, shoot prediction. I have Birch and Lorcan winning. I just think it just makes sense. Also because there hasn't been any build up to this, so I guess you can then start the build up of Birch and Lorcan and Imperium with a real proper feud. I actually want Breezango to win because I love Breezango. I find them very entertaining. I'm not to say that LDF is bad. I think they're actually really terrific, and I think that what they've done now, both of those wrestlers who have a lot of potential, coming together with Escobar, is going to be really good. Kind of middle of the road on this one, but my logic is sound, I believe, so I'm going to give it 3 confidence points. We then have the ladder match for the North American title that was given up by Keith Lee when he became double champ. We have Johnny Gargano, Cameron Grimes, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and the Velveteen Dream, the returning Dream. So on the Go Home show, Reed technically stood tall, even though literally everyone touched the belt, everyone got their shots in at the end because they did kind of a very WWE style finish Go Home show. So Lee relinquished and wanted to give someone a shot. Makes me think that the big names will do well in the match, but they won't ultimately win it. Gargano almost got killed this past week on NXT when Ridge Holland botched a power slam, basically slammed him on his head. They had to stop the match. Through the magic of editing, they didn't show it, but he looked pretty bad. He was able to finish the match, win it, but I feel like he's going to be taking it a little bit easy on this. I don't think he's going to go as crazy in the ladder match. I hope he doesn't. I feel like Dream has just too much heat on him coming from every direction. And I think the title would bring a lot of unnecessary heat, probably heat they don't want. I'm not going to get into it because a lot of it is allegations, but just in general, it's just I don't see WWE doing that right now. They really built up Reed over the past couple of weeks, giving him some really nice vignettes, talking about how his wife kind of paid for his wrestling school and that kind of stuff. So I feel like he's had some really good matches. He beat Damian Priest 2 weeks back. But my 2 tops are Priest and Grimes. I think Damian Priest is, he's been really good and they've been pushing him. And Cameron Grimes is just absolutely hysterical. Every promo he does, I just laugh my ass off. So I'm going to get to my predictions. Shoot, I am actually going to pick Cameron Grimes to the moon. I think he's just going to do it. Kayfabe, I love Johnny Gargano. I'd love for him to be a 2-time champ the Wednesday night, KNIGHT. But I just feel like, the whole purpose of this was to give people a shot. And I think that putting it on Gargano is just unnecessary right now. And not to mention, I think he's just not going to do too much crazy stuff in the match because I don't want him breaking his neck. But, because there's just so much uncertainty with it, I only give it 1 confidence point. Next, Adam Cole, Bay versus Pat McAfee. Cole basically stood tall on the Go Home show, kind of just shitting on him, making my bitch, even though Pat McAfee cut a fantastic heel promo for someone who's never cut a promo in WWE before. Obviously, he's been on WWE television with the preview, the kickoff shows and whatnot. But, you could tell this guy is just made for it. I mean, he's cut promos. That promo is better than maybe 80% of the people in WWE right now. So they could learn from him. Obviously he's been in training, Pat McAfee. I think there was some video of him doing some stuff, but to the extent and how long. I mean, he's a great athlete. Obviously, he played professional football. Even though he was a punter, he's in phenomenal shape. He's a few years younger than me, which is very weird. But Cole can't lose this unless something ridiculous happens, like Undisputed Era turning on him or someone else coming in and turning on him and setting up a feud that way. It'd be so ridiculous. So my predictions is Adam Cole winning it in shoot, in kayfabe, because I am a Adam Cole stan, smart, mark, whatever you want to call it. And I'm pretty confident in it, so I'm going to give it 4 points of confidence. Next is the NXT Women's title, Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. Kai Gonzalez stood tall on the Go Home show with the return of Raquel Gonzalez from weeks of just not being there, barely being mentioned. I don't know if this was some kind of COVID thing. I don't know if this was storyline related where they were going to try and lull everyone to thinking that she wasn't going to be there. And then at the last minute to kind of mess with Io Shirai's, game plan. But either way, I was happy to see her back because I think her and Dakota Kai make a really good team. Uh, Kai's been up and down ever since her heel turn. She's kind of been pushed and not really, then pushed and not really, but she's also lost a lot, especially with Tegan Knox. She lost that street fight a couple months back. Io is just awesome. I mean, she's just fantastic. I love just everything about her style. I just don't think Io loses at this point. I don't think that they've set it up that way. So shoot Io, kayfabe Io. This is my most confident. I got 4 points of confidence in this. Even though I like Dakota Kai, I think she has a lot of potential. I think her and Raquel Gonzalez would be really cool if they start kind of moving into the tag team division. And then finally, NXT title. We got Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross. So there was no interaction with them on the Go Home show, but there was a really nice video package kind of setting up and documenting what's going on. A little emphasis on Dijak, even though we haven't seen him since. There was that, and I don't know if you consider this a spoiler or not because it's been all over the internet. So there was a picture that was posted. If you think it's a spoiler, I'll do this when I'm done talking about it. So just right now, and then when I do this, okay. So there was a picture that WWE Shop or somebody, one of the social media accounts posted of Karrion Kross with the title on his shoulder saying, is it a matter of time? Because if it's TikTok, then WWE Shop reposted that same picture. So I don't know if that means anything. Spoiler over. Will Lee's eye be affected still? Will he have a patch? Will he be somewhat blinded because of the fireball? They really haven't mentioned it. They said he'll be fine. Will Dijak have any, impact on this? Obviously, there's been rumors that he's been moved up to Raw or SmackDown, possibly as a part of Retribution. We haven't seen him since, though. Both have been, Keith Lee, obviously, the champ. Karrion Kross has been made pretty much indestructible. I mean, he's destroyed everybody. Could we even, he's barely even been weakened by anybody. I mean, anyone he's faced. But this leads me to think, could we have a Ciampa return? Could Ciampa be the one that actually causes Karrion Kross to lose and therefore setting up another rivalry with the two of them? Because obviously Ciampa was just so distraught when he lost, he just left and we hadn't seen him since. But either way, I really think that they're going to keep this on Lee for now. I think it would just be too soon to take it off him, especially because with all the fanfare of him becoming double champ and everything. And I don't want them to hot potato the title either. So shoot Lee, kayfabe Lee, but not very confident in this. Only 2 points of confidence. So there you have it. Those are my predictions for NXT Takeover XXX, aka 30. As always, you know what? Let me know what you think. Let me know what your predictions are. Do your predictions, how they stack up against mine. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. And as always, be safe, love each other, and bye now. Hey puppy, I'm home early. What the? Adriana? Are you a cam girl?